Hi everyone! Welcome to another session of Yoga with Bernadette. And for today's class, this is going to be a gentle flow focusing on side body stretch. So this is a good class to counter the slouching that we do. Probably you've been sitting for many hours during the day. So as you know, the ribs house our lungs. So we would like to keep that nice and open so that there's room for us to breathe freely. So I would suggest that you grab your blocks if you have them. Otherwise, we could just modify and use our hands to support us. Feel free also to scale up or scale down as we go along. But again, this is a gentle flow, so no need to push yourself. Instead, really feel your body and make the poses really feel good for you. All right, and let's begin. So starting off in child's pose, have your hands and knees down to the mat. Separate your knees a little bit wider and then bring your big toes to touch. Let your buttocks move towards the heels and then relax your arms forward. Let your head be heavy down to the floor and just allow your whole body to be supported by the mat or by the ground underneath you. So here, start to fully arrive in your practice. Feel the parts of the body that are touching your mat. Feel the parts of the body that feel a little bit tense. And see if you can release them down a little bit more towards the ground. And then start to bring your attention to your breath. Start to make your breath more conscious. Feeling the back expand as you inhale. And feeling your ribs go down towards your thighs as you exhale. Let's actually breathe together. Take a big inhale through your nose. And exhale, empty it out through your mouth. One more time like that. Inhale fully. Feel your back expand. And as you exhale, release a little bit more towards the earth. And then now start to cultivate your Ujjayi breath if you practice that. Otherwise, just continue to breathe in and out through the nose this time. And try to connect to your breath all throughout the practice. On your next inhale, start to crawl your hands forward in front of you. Really stretch them out so that you can feel your side ribs already expand with your arms. Maybe tent your fingers so that you can really lengthen your arms and straighten them. So your elbows are not touching the floor here. If you need to lift your head slightly, do that. And continue to crawl your hands forward, but keep your hips nice and heavy down towards your heels so that there's a pull towards the opposite direction while you're lengthening forward. Take a deep breath in and exhale, empty. And then start to crawl your hands to your right. Bring your torso with you. If it's accessible, you can place your torso on top of your right thigh. And then really move towards the right that you feel your left side body waist lengthen. You can place your left hand on top of your right palm, back of your palm, so that you can feel a little bit more stretch here, your left side of the shoulder. And while you're doing that, let the left hip be heavy. Let it ground to the heels. Breathe or use your breath to create space on the left side. And the next inhale back to the center. And the exhale, walk your hands to the other side to the left. This time stretching the right side of your waist. Let the right hip be heavy. And then again, you can place your right palm on top of your left hand. And as you breathe, create space in the right side. And feel openness on that side. And then inhale back to the center. And really crawl your hands forward again, lengthen. And then bring yourself to tabletop. Hands and knees down to your mat. So here, allow the arms to be shoulder width apart a little bit or a little bit wider. Spread your fingers wide. Knees are below your hips, hip width apart. And we'll just do cat-cow here. As you inhale, now you lengthen your heart forward. Bring your shoulders back. Drop your belly. As you exhale, you do the opposite. Press your hands. Ground them down as you curl. Maybe gaze at your navel. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Shoulders back. Your tailbone lifts. As you exhale, tone the belly as you curl them up. Okay, spread your shoulder blades. Okay, do this few more rounds with your breath. And if you like, you can close your eyes to really feel the movement with your breath. And you can also make circles with your hips if you need a little bit more lubrication there, a little bit more movement. Make this transitions work for your body and really feel your body and make it feel good. Okay, this few more rounds of breath. Cat-cow, your own version of cat-cow. And then pause at the center. And then this time, lift your right leg back behind you and cross it over your left leg. And you will gaze past your left arm towards your right foot crossing. So this time you're stretching not just the side of your ribs, but also the right side of your hip. Probably the right side of your leg too. Breathe here, like making a C shape of your body. And then inhale back to the center. We'll do the other side, lifting the left leg up and then crossing it over the right. Now you gaze towards the left foot and then pressing towards the heel, moving your hips a little bit more towards the left. And then back to the center. Okay, walk your hands a handprint forward and then bring yourself to downward facing dog. So you curl your toes here. Straighten the arms, spread the fingers, and then pedal your feet. Start to warm up those hamstrings, opening them up. And continue with your deep breathing, conscious breathing. And then bend your knees a lot. And just move your chest a little bit more towards your thighs, hips up and back. Good. And then press your thighs back. It's okay if the heels don't touch the floor. Lengthen the spine. Walk your hands to your feet. So give your hands a break. Bend the knees. Hold opposite elbows and then dangle here. If you want to be steady, then just be steady. Allow the spine to traction down to the floor. Or you can sway side to side. And again, feel the stretch on the sides of the waist. For some of you, you would probably want to bend your knees as you sway, giving a little bit more stretch on the back of your legs. And try to let go of your head here. Give your neck a break too. And then pause at the center. Switch the crossing of the elbows. And it's just like you really pause here. Allow your torso to go down to the floor, lengthening the spine, stretching the back of your legs. Lift your kneecaps up, lift your thighs up to start engaging your legs. Breathe. And release your hands to the sides of your shins or to the floor. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. And then exhale, just fold forward. And then inhale, lengthen. And just slowly walk your hands back towards the front of the mat. So you're in your plank. Just a gentle plank, not holding. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale again, shift forward to your plank. Lower your knees down to the floor. And we will lower all the way down to the floor. Okay, tent your fingers outside of the mat. So your elbows are lifted here. Roll your shoulders away from the floor. Now inhale, keeping your pubic bone heavy. Lift your chest up, roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, release down. Okay, tops of the feet down here. Inhale again, lift up. Shoulders back, just gaze forward and then exhale. Okay, feel the stretch in your shoulders. One more time. Inhale, lift. On your exhale, now drop your left shoulder, gaze to the right. And then inhale back to the center. And then exhale, drop the right shoulder, gaze to the left. And then inhale back to the center. And then exhale down to the floor. Slide your hands beside of the ribs. Push up to hands and knees. Child's pose just for a breath. And then downward facing dog. And then inhale, shift forward to plank. And then lower your knees to your tabletop. And then now you step the right foot forward. If you need to move the back knee further back so you feel a little bit more stretch in your left quad, do that. And then place your hands on top of your thighs. Here you can make adjustments. If you want to go a little bit more deeper, you can move that front foot further forward. Bring your hips forward, but keep your frontal hip bones lifted to protect your back, meaning your tailbone goes down to the floor. And if this is enough stretch in your quad, in your hip flexor, you stay here. If you want a little bit more, adding a side stretch in the left side, you lift the left arm up and you move to the right. You can keep the right hand to the thigh for a little bit more support and stability, or you can release it down to the side. And do a slight back bend here so that you feel the stretch in the front body too, but keeping that lower belly in and steady to protect the back. Okay, breathe here. Stay for one more breath. And then inhale back to the center, lift the arms up over your head. And then exhale, hands down to the floor. If you have your blocks, you can grab them. And then straighten your right leg any amount. If you're here, that's fine. You can slightly bend the knees. Maybe for some of you, you can go further back, moving your hips back and lifting your toes up, trying to drag that right heel towards the back of the room. Just breathing, a couple more breaths. And rebend that front knee, hands down, and step the right knee back. We'll do the other side. So you step the left foot forward. Okay, and then hands on top of the thigh. Again, make adjustments as needed. And then lift your frontal hip bones to protect your low back. If this is enough, you stay here and then breathe into your frontal thighs and to your hip flexor. If you want a little bit more, reach your right arm up, do a side bend to the left. And maybe release the left hand to the side, let it hang. And do a slight back bend here, just a gentle back bend, allowing the stretch in the side of the waist and your front body. Okay, breathe. Stay one more breath. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale, hands down to the floor, or to your blocks, and then straighten your left leg. You can walk your hands back in. You can move it further forward. So again, adjust the pose to make it work for your body. So you're scissoring the thighs, right hip forward, left hip back. Breathe into the back of your legs. And rebend that left leg and step it back. And then downward facing dog. And this time you inhale, shift forward to your plank, lowering the knees down to the floor, lowering all the way down to the floor. Bring the tops of the feet down, tailbone towards the back of your heels. Okay, move your hands back beside of your ribs. Inhale to your cobra, lift the chest, and then exhale, melt down. If your back is okay, and if you come up into up dog, you straighten your arms, lift the chest, and then lift your thighs off the floor. And then exhale, flip the toes, downward facing dog. And this time, you'll step your right foot forward, and lowering the left knee down, and then move your right foot further to the right. And then move your left hand further away from you, maybe at the edge of the mat or further away from the mat. And then twist open to your right, dropping your hips again. For some of you, you may want to grab the back foot if you are there in your practice. So you stretch the frontal part of the thigh. Otherwise, just place your right hand on top of the thigh and then open the front body. Breathe, opening up the inner thighs, the hips. Good. Stay for one more breath. And then back to the center. Hands down to the floor. And again, straighten your right leg just for a breath here. And then rebend. And then step it back. And just child's for a breath. And then downward facing dog. We'll do the other side. Step your left foot forward. Lower your right knee down. Move the left leg further to the left. Angle the foot to accommodate your hips. Right hand further away from you to the edge of the mat or even outside of the mat. Turn your chest to the left. A hand on top of the left thigh. Or for some of you, you can grab that back foot. And then open your chest up. Okay. If this is not accessible, you can keep the left hand to the thigh. Okay. And then use your breath again to create space in your hips, in your frontal body. And try not to bring the right shoulder to the ear, but away from the ear. Plug it back into the socket. And then back to the center, hands down to the floor. And then straighten your left leg any amount just for a breath. And then rebend, hands down to the floor, hands and knees, child's for a breath, and then downward facing dog. And then inhale, shift forward to your plank, lowering the knees down to the floor, lowering all the way down. Tops of the feet down, move your hands back, adjust. Inhale to your cobra or upward facing dog. Lift your chest up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. And again, lowering the knees down to the floor. I'll start with my left leg. Left leg steps forward. And then move your right shin further back in a diagonal. And then bring yourself upright. So if you think about it, this is like your warrior 2 variation. So making it a little bit more accessible here. Your left leg is out. And the knees are on top of the ankle. So start with the left forearm on top of the thigh. Bring your top arm over the head. So you feel a side stretch from the side of your waist all the way up towards your top arm. Let the head be heavy. For some of you, you may want to bring your hand outside of the leg for a little bit more stretch. If that's too much, they can always bring your left forearm on top of the thigh. Okay, same work. Breathe. And then inhale back to the center. Just bring your right hand down. And then open the other side. Lift the chest. And then back to the center. Tone the belly as you come up. Release the hands down. Pivot your back shin. And then back to your tabletop. And then we'll do the other side. Right foot steps forward. Bring your left shin back. And then bring your torso upright. So front knee on top of the ankle. Starting with the right forearm on top of the thigh. Top arm over the head. Or bring your right hand outside of the foot for a little bit more stretch. Otherwise, come back up. Okay, let the head be heavy. And then slowly left hand down to the side, toward the back, and then stretch the right side of the waist, opening the chest. And then tone the belly as you come back up. Release the hands down to the floor. Right knee goes back to table. And then this time, you'll be on your knees. I'll be facing you, so we'll do gate pose. So very similar to what we just did. So we will start with the right leg bent. So this time, the right knee, the right thigh is in line with the hip, and then we'll straighten the left leg any amount. All right. So lift the thigh up, left thigh up so that your muscles are still active. And then we'll do side bend. Okay, let the head be heavy here. You can go as deep as you can. Just feel your body. And then inhale back to the center. Right hand down. So it's very similar to the one we just did. And then open the left side. And then again, tone the belly as you come up. And then back to your kneeling position. We'll do the other side. Okay, straightening your left leg, knees and your foot pointing in the same direction. Okay, and then left hip and left knee in line. Inhale, and then exhale, side bend. Opening your chest, and make this pose feel good for you. And then inhale, center. Left hand down below the shoulder. It can be on your fingertips. Open the chest. Let the head be heavy. Let your arm be heavy. And then tone the belly as you come up. And then release your knee down. All right, now we'll be sitting. Okay, let's grab my blocks for later. So now bring your legs forward in front of you and right foot to the inner thigh, like for a tree. So face to the right corner of your mat. We'll just start with very similar action, bringing your right hand down, side bending to the other side. And then now we side bend to your straight leg, to your left leg. So here you don't have to grab your foot. You can place your hand just here by the mat inside of your foot. It's the same action, letting the torso be heavy so gravity can do its work. If this is too much, like with your arm over your head, you can place it behind your head here. Okay, letting the weight open the right side of your waist. And you can adjust this pose so that you can stretch it to where you want it. For some, you would want to stretch the side. Maybe you can like round a little bit and you feel a stretch a little bit on the back of your spine, your low back, your QL. Okay, so make the pose again, work for your body. Allow it to serve you. Maybe go a little bit deeper in your next couple of breaths. And then inhale back to the center here. Pause and just release the right hand back down to the floor. Try not to overthink it. Any amount, just lift. Tone the belly as you do that. And then lower down to the floor. And then we'll do the other side. Right foot forward. And then left foot to the inner thigh. So now you can see my back. Okay. Same action. Left hand behind you. Open the right side. And then keeping the right side nice and open, the length you've created. Now you side bend towards your right leg. Hey, you don't have to grab your foot again. You can place the right hand inside. Wherever it lands, you can keep the left arm heavy, straight, or bring it behind you if it's too much. Allow gravity to do its work. Try not to force it. And again, use your breath to create space. Know that the more you allow, the more your body will let you. And the more you force it, it tries to resist because it's somewhere like foreign. It's something new. So just let it go where it takes you. And then inhale back to the center. Pause for breath. And just release the left hand down, not forcing or anything. Lift the frontal body. And then exhale, tone the belly as you lower. And then release the left leg forward. And this time, bring your hands underneath your knees. Open your knees out to the sides. And for this bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana, bring your legs forward. So you make a big diamond here. So you're not forcing this forward fold. You take an inhale and then exhale, you just fold forward. Allow your back to round. Allow the legs to move out to the sides. And whatever comfortable position of your arms, just let it go there. Let the head go down to the floor. Try not to force anything. Again, allowing your body to go where it wants to go and letting gravity do its work. And just notice probably the more you exhale, the more you can go deeper. And if not, that's okay. And then slowly bring yourself back in. Help your knees to move back into the center and release your legs forward. And then you will lie down slowly. If you have your blocks, grab one with you and have them close to you. If not, that's fine. Okay. Place your feet down to the floor. So in bridge position, we'll do dynamic bridge first. So your knees are above of the ankles, a little bit closer towards the buttocks. Okay, ground your feet down to the floor. Tone the belly as you lift up. Reach your arms up over your head. So here your tailbone moves towards the back of your knees. Okay, and then lifting your frontal hip bones up, the same action. And then as you exhale, tone the belly in as you lower your arms by your sides. Okay, we'll do this few more rounds with your breath and really feel your body here. As you inhale, open. As you exhale, you lower. 2 more times like that with your breath. One more time. And then exhale. On the next one, if you have your block, you'll place your block underneath your hips, underneath your sacrum. So it's a flat surface part of your hip. So not on your low back, not on your tailbone, but here. All right. Place it down to the floor and just allow your legs to straighten if that's okay with your back, so that you've stretched the front part of your body. If you don't have your blocks, you can just rest your hips down to the floor, or you can go to your bridge position and hold bridge for 5 breaths. If you have your block or thick book, keep it underneath your sacrum and allow the frontal body to open for 5 breaths. This is to counter the sitting that we do. Our hip flexors get tight from all the sitting, and this would allow that to open a little bit. And you can stay here even as long as you want. I find this very relaxing. Stay for a couple more breaths. And then slowly bend your knees. And for those who are in bridge, you can slowly come down, move the block out of the way, and then release your hips down. And just pause here. Feel your breath. Feel your heartbeat. And then hug your knees into your chest just to give it a good squeeze. If you want to rock side to side, do that. And then pause at the center. And keeping your right knee into your chest. Okay, release the left leg down and you twist to the right. You reach your right arm to the side. Gaze to the right if that's okay with your neck. And just allow the right shoulder to be heavy. Let the right leg be heavy too. Again, using the breath, trying not to force the pose. Just allow the body and again, make it feel good for your body. And then inhale back to the center. Both knees into your chest. Release your right leg down. Do the other side. Left leg crosses the body. Left arm to the side. Let it go down to the floor. Turn the palm up. Gaze to the left if that's okay with your neck. And then inhale back to the center. Both knees into your chest. Take a big inhale here. On your exhale, you curl up. Bring yourself into a small ball. Take another inhale. And then exhale. Release your head back down to the floor. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, empty it out, all the tension out. And then release your arms and your legs for your final resting pose, Shavasana. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope that has made you feel relaxed and a little bit more at ease. At any point, if you feel anxious or a little bit more tense than usual, you can always come back to this class and really feel your body and allow your body to stretch in a way that feels good for you. Feel free to share this video if you know someone could benefit from it. Also, I encourage you to please comment and let me know what other videos you would like to see so I can make yoga classes for you. And also, again, hit subscribe if you haven't so that you would know if we have new videos coming up. And again, I appreciate your presence. Keep practicing and stay healthy. Namaste.